Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.
From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this is The Gateway. It's Wednesday, April 15th. I'm Wayne Pratt. St. Louis County's executive wants to establish a special fund for federal money to respond to the coronavirus. That money comes from the CARES Act passed by Congress to fight the virus. Sam Page also wants to spend an additional $7 million from the County Health Fund to respond to COVID-19. The head of the St. Louis Metropolitan Pandemic Task Force is telling elected officials to be cautious when possibly relaxing stay-at-home orders and social distancing guidelines. Dr. Alex Garza says trying to come back too soon could lead to a second wave of coronavirus. He's also reiterating that the outbreak has not yet peaked in the St. Louis region. Airports have taken a significant financial hit during the pandemic. More than $150 million in federal aid is coming to Missouri's airports. It will help keep some services running and replace lost revenue. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says there are clear indications of a deceleration of virus transmission in that state. He specifically points to a decline in the Illinois hospitalization rate. Pritzker says, quote, "We are, in fact, bending the curve." Missouri residents can now buy mixed drinks to go during the pandemic. The Department of Public Safety has suspended a rule prohibiting the sale of alcoholic beverages that are not in their original container. The temporary change is an effort to help restaurants and bars during the outbreak. Here are the numbers. Health officials in Missouri are reporting around 4,700 COVID-19 cases out of nearly 49,000 tests. There have been more than 130 deaths. There have been more than 23,000 positive results in Illinois. That's out of 110,000 tests. Health officials in the state report nearly 870 deaths. In just a few minutes, we will explore the mental health of many in the St. Louis region as they deal with the pandemic. As we mentioned, St. Louis County's top political official wants to create a special fund for federal money earmarked to fight coronavirus. St. Louis Public Radio's Jason Rosenbaum reports that some council members want a closer look at what the fund does.
St. Louis County Executive Sam Page is backing a plan to create a fund that will house money from the CARES Act, the massive bill that Congress passed to fight coronavirus. He also wants to spend $7 million from the County Health Fund to fight the virus, money he says will likely get reimbursed from the federal government. Several Republican council members Tuesday wanted to hold a committee hearing on those two proposals, but Council Chairwoman Lisa Clancy says a public health emergency necessitates quick action.
We need to move swiftly. There is ample opportunity for council members to get the information they need in order to make an informed decision about this, and I encourage everyone to do so.
Council members could vote on the coronavirus-related bills next week. I'm Jason Rosenbaum, St. Louis Public Radio.
The economic fallout from COVID-19 could cost the University of Missouri system as much as $180 million. System President Moon Choi says furloughs and other cost-cutting measures will be rolled out in the coming weeks.
Based on the reductions in state support, also softness in the enrollment in the fall, and how the market is doing in terms of our investment outcomes, we expect a significant downturn for the university.
Choi is taking a 10% pay cut along with chancellors, cabinet members, and many other senior administrators. As of this past Sunday, employees who cannot work from home are taking unpaid leave. Inmates in Missouri prisons are producing hand sanitizer, masks, and other items during the outbreak. As St. Louis Public Radio's Shayla Farzan reports, some of the items are being sold to state agencies.
At the state prison in Bonne Terre, inmates normally produce cleaning products. Late last month, they started making hand sanitizer, and now they're producing more than 1,000 gallons a week. Byron Ewing is one of 30 inmates working in the factory. He makes 71 cents an hour, pouring metal drums of chemicals into a massive mixer.
The work we're doing now, I feel we're doing a big impact. Might be saving somebody's life with the stuff we're making, because it's pretty bad out there now.
Inmates at 4 other Missouri prisons are now sewing thousands of face masks. The Department of Corrections says the goal is to provide every staff member and inmate with 2 masks. I'm Shayla Farzan, St. Louis Public Radio.
The federal government has started sending out money to individuals and families spelled out in a massive coronavirus relief bill. Individuals who made up to $75,000 in 2018 and 2019 are receiving $1,200 from the federal government. Married couples who earned up to $150,000 are getting $2,400 and $500 for each of their children. People with direct deposit information on file with the IRS are currently having the money placed in their bank accounts. But St. Louis University law professor Henry Ordauer says there could be many issues for people who need to be mailed a check.
For people who are homeless, this is really kind of an impossible situation because there's no way for them to receive a check by mail.
Ordauer says it could take weeks for some people with no direct deposit information on file with the government to get their money. The pandemic and restrictions put in place to limit the spread of COVID-19 are wreaking havoc on the mental health of many St. Louisans. Many are worried about being exposed to the virus. As Nancy Fowler reports, people are also struggling with a lack of structure and uncertainty about the future.
Stay-at-home orders have turned parents into teachers and homes into offices. People whose work takes them out into the community risk infection every day. Families are apart during birthdays, births, and deaths. And psychotherapists like Carol Robinson of St. Louis are starting to see the mental health of even well-functioning clients unravel. Their emotions run the gamut.
Frustrated, angry, depressed, and feeling trapped within my house because I cannot escape these unwanted feelings.
Robinson says many feel lethargic and unproductive.
Clients who have jobs where they make decisions all the time, they're very capable people, can't organize life so that they can get the dishes washed.
It's not unusual for people to feel unmotivated when routines go out the window. Therapist Kristen Crarin of West St. Louis County says the current climate is overwhelming for many who struggle with anxiety and depression because they often have a history of feeling powerless.
Right now, powerlessness and helplessness are just running rampant.
Crarin's new normal is working with adult clients the way she does with many teenagers.
Like, okay, we need to get up, by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning and, brush your teeth and put something different than your pajamas on.
Like most therapists, Crarin has switched almost all of her clients to telehealth or online sessions using apps like Zoom. That's how she sees her therapist. Like many of her own patients, Crarin is struggling. She's lost half her income because half her clients have stopped therapy.
Because they just don't want to do telehealth, or because they have loss of income and they can't afford therapy. And I'm basically terrified about what the future has to hold.
Terrence Strong of Tower Grove East is also scared. He and his wife own a cleaning company and were already making their way through Chapter 13 bankruptcy before the pandemic. They haven't worked at all in several weeks. To deal with his anxiety and stress, Strong writes and records songs.
Don't want to feel bad. I'm searching for hope.
But hope can be hard to find when the bills keep coming.
The IRS sent me a bill for $5,000 this month. It's right here on my desk. I'll show it to you.
Strong holds the bill up to the screen for me to see during our Zoom interview. He also owes money to his Wi-Fi provider and other utilities.
There's this voice in my head telling me that I'm going to have to get out there and man up and not let the refrigerator get too low or not let the bill stack up too high.
Strong says he can't afford to talk with a therapist, even though he'd like to. But several organizations offer free and low-cost therapy. Marsha Bradford, who owns Diversified Health and Wellness in Kirkwood, says her organization uses a sliding scale and offers therapy at no cost to those who need it. And the need is growing.
We don't do well isolating for the most part. People are starting to panic a little bit. And the longer we're in this, the harder it's going to be for everyone.
But therapists say some people are thriving right now, like those who find that working from home gives them more control over their day, and some who consider themselves introverts. For St. Louis Public Radio, I'm Nancy Fowler.
We have more on mental health during the pandemic on our website. Eric Schmidt talks with a local mental health professional about coping, as well as finding support and resources. You can find that at stlpublicradio.org. Shula Newman is the executive editor of St. Louis Public Radio, music by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. I'm Wayne Pratt. From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this has been The Gateway.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association. Missouri produces wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details on the variety of products made in the state are at choosewood.com.